The picturesque town of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin is the backdrop for one of the biggest motorsports events in the world. For the 4th year, the Sports Car Club of America National Championship Runoffs returns to Road America. Beautiful, fast, and treacherous, this track puts a premium on horsepower, aerodynamics, and bravery. A single mistake can end in disaster, but a single moment of inspiration can turn a contender into a champion. The 49th annual SCCA Runoffs is next on Speedcast TV.
We are ready to go racing in H production. Oh, he turned him. Working the inside is Lee Neffenegger.
He halved the difference. Oh, Spicer trying to hold position.
But he's too much speed. He's wide. Terrarian trying to do it around the outside.
Here, one more for the guys up in the booth.
It is time for us to welcome John Bizignano. John, how many in a row is this now?
I think it's number 17, guys, but we, with dog ears, that's a whole bunch. Listen, here's Mr. Penteric getting into his car. This isn't quite as straight as the last car you had here in Road America. What happened down in the carousel, I believe, in the spring?
Well, I was up here for the SRT Viper Cup, and driver error went outside of the carousel, hooked the tire, and hit the cement wall about 105 mile an hour and cartwheeled 5 times. Thank you to the SRT engineers. They saved my life. I walked away without a scratch, a little bruising here and there, but I was ready to be in a car the next day.
I've got to ask you now, when you go through that corner and look at that curb and think about what was going on inside that cabin, how easy is it to keep your foot to where it should be?
I will tell you, I was here for the June sprints, and first qualifying lap, I shook my fist at that cement wall. When you're busy, you don't think about it much. When you're not busy, you start thinking about what could have been, and I'm just grateful to be here.
Nice second qualifying place here, but you got one fast Porsche in front of you here. Best of luck with that. But we're going to go take a look at this very special Porsche. It's beautifully prepared. Actually, there's about a crew of 6 around this car, which talks to the sophistication now in SCCA racing. Scott Tucker has been on pole here for the entire weekend. Now, this whole new scoop exercise here has been approved by the Sports Car Club of America. It's a modification that has only been done to this particular car. It's a twin turbo underneath this rear deck lid, and it's not really adding extra horsepower, which they already have over 700 of, so I hear, but it's a cooling thing. That's great when you're here in July and August, but I don't think they're going to be needing it at 51 degrees down here in the pit lane right now, guys. Back to you.
All right, John, well, hang tough down there. It's supposed to warm up a bit, and at least it's supposed to be dry. That's the good news. That car, it runs in a class called STO, Super Touring Over, which is a class for cars that are street-based but allow a whole lot of modifications to it. And when we first saw that, we looked at it, and I've been here during the week. I was out on corners for a couple of days, and that's the first car that I have heard since the old Audis and Trans Am and IMSA with that chirp on the downshifts. It's making so much boost, and that scoop, I would think, is to get air just to the intercoolers.
Well, bringing that air in there and cooling that engine does make horsepower, regardless if it goes directly into the intake or not.
Yep.
If you run an engine cooler, it's going to definitely make more horsepower. The potential for horsepower in that is unbelievable. That's the same kind of scoop we ran on the old Porsche GT1.
Yeah.
That car was only around a couple years, and I can guarantee you that puts out some serious horsepower.
And you see the car behind him, that is Dave Penteric, and Biz alluded to the fact he qualified second, so been able to put that incident behind him. He won this class here that he's running in 2010, but then it was an exhibition class, so it was not a national championship, so he's got a silver medal in that. But Biz alluded to the incident that he had, and it was spectacular. It was in the SRT Viper Cup event, and coming out of the carousel, and it just, he ran a little wide, and that was enough, and it was a spectacular wreck. And as he pointed out, awfully nice from the engineers to have that. Let's take a look at, we've got the onboard of that incident that we want to show you here that he had. And it was
coming back on.
Did you watch this?
Right rear tire hit.
That's him up front going across. There's the hit. And look at that.
Immediately
Absolutely huge crash. You hooked that wheel, like you said, snapped across.
Driver's right.
Real good shot there at speed of the car going by. Multiple flips, end for end, side to side. And he's very right about one thing. He's lucky to come away no harm.
Worse for wear, yeah, just shaken up. And you can see there was the number 18 Viper to add insult to injury, once he stopped flipping and sat there were cars that were just trying to scatter the, get through the debris field, and that guy got into him. Not hard, fortunately. It wasn't too bad, but tough wreck. But if you love driving, you bury that. I mean, you've had your share of wrecks, obviously. You have to compartmentalize and just get it out of mind.
Well, he said it all when he said, when I went there the first time, I shook my fist at that wall.
Yeah.
Well, that's the boy, tell that wall what to do, get it out of the way. It's something you got to put behind you if you're a race car driver.
We were talking about what's going on in STO. Let's take a look at T1. Now, these will be split starts. The STO cars, due to their modifications, will start in front. Then the T1 grid will start behind. And Dorsey, you want to take us through that one?
Like I say, I think in the T1 you're going to have a very, very, very competitive race.
Yeah.
You see John Buttermore is on the pole. He's got 3 wins so far this year, along a very experienced race car driver, Andrew Aquilani. Michael Pettiford comes up next, and of course Michael drives in many divisions. He's gone 4 wins out of 4 starts this year, I should say, not today. Tom Slow, another really good competitor, has 4 wins also. He's the 09 champ, so knows how to get the job done. Ole Thorsen, 2 wins for the year. And then Joe Aquilani, who preps all these cars that we've seen so many years, is coming up next. Tim Hunn's got a pair of wins out of Southeast Division champion. Kyle Kelly also a couple of wins there. He's 4th in the Southern Pacific Division. Nathan Walbaum, 5 wins, really good record, Midwest Division champion. And bringing up from the backside is Michael Wasek, and he has 3 wins for the year as well. CN Division champion, I should say, Central Division champion. See these guys roll out. Like you said, Greg, there's going to be a split start. These are not heavily modified cars. These are pretty much street stock, if you will, cars with safety modifications done, which includes brakes and shocks and things that the race car needs to handle the...
They don't need a ton of modifications in T1 because they're just plain old wicked quick right from the get-go.
Well, not anymore. The cars that we build nowadays are so well
exactly
versed compared to what we used to race in.
To give you a couple of stats here, Buttermore, the defending champ. Scott Tucker won it in 09 and 2010. Ed Zabinski won it in 2008, and Andrew Aquilani won it in 2007. So you've got a nice group of national champions that are going to be contesting this one. And it's always good to see, the cream rises to the top sometimes, and that's exactly what you see when you come to the runoffs. That's the idea behind it.
These are true performance American muscle cars, no doubt about it. And they're tuned, the suspensions are tuned, the engines are tuned to a factory stock type of a spec, and they're regulated by the SCCA. So with that, you can expect those cars to run very close together, unlike the cars you're looking on the screen right now, which are highly modified and prone to having a big difference in speed.
And how do you get to the runoffs? Well, you have to have contested in your division, and you've got to have at least 4 starts in national races during the course of the season. And the SCCA splits the country into 9 divisions. Then those divisions are broken into regions, but each of those divisions has a national level racing series. And if you've got to have 4 starts, that is it. You got to have 4 starts and 4 finishes. Then there's some other qualifiers you can do. If you're top 3 in your divisional championship points on the national level, that'll get you in. If you finish in the top half of the national point standings, which is broken out, it does not include divisional boundaries. It's just number of nationals you run and how you do. And it also includes stats for how many cars you beat during the course of a race. That'll help be the second qualifier you can use. Or if you start and finish 8 national races, period, along with those, that will get you in as well. So it's not easy to do it. You've got to beat a lot of people and be successful to get here, and that's the whole point.
Or be a past national champion.
Correct. Yeah.
You get an automatic invite as a past champion. But no, you have to race throughout the country, and they've done it differently from when I did it because there's so many more classes of racing than what I used to race in. That some of these classes have trouble in different areas of the country having enough cars to run against. So if you're in a division that's got 20 cars you're racing against versus one that's got 4 cars you're racing against, they pay points for the fact that you got more cars to compete with.
Yeah, and that's a great idea on that national level. And if you are a former champion, and then you don't have to, you just get an automatic invite. That's what Scott Tucker did this year. Didn't race during the season. He's been very busy doing the American Le Mans Series.
He raced, but he didn't race that car.
So. But obviously, all of that other racing has kept him mighty sharp.
Yeah.
And we're watching for this out of turn 8 into the carousel. Dorsey, talk about the carousel. This is such an instrumental corner.
This is a corner that, going back to what Biz said before, that The first time you get down here with it being as cold as it is outside, tire temperatures aren't up yet, tire pressures aren't up to where they should be yet. And this is a long duration corner. As you see, you get into the corner and you're going through it for a long time. Plus it tightens up and falls off camber, so the banking goes the wrong way to help you at the exit. That's where we saw the big crash that we previewed earlier, was exiting this corner. It's frightening corner, I'll tell you that much. I mean, you really have to be committed to get through there. It's not just a constant throttle. You know, you're working the throttle all the way through there, and the car's going through a series of gyrations. Front end gives up, back end gives up. You got to really, it's a driver's corner. And then there's this one, the kink.
Because all you're doing, if you do the carousel right, is building speed. Then you get to this corner they call the kink. When you approach that fast, that's no kink.
Now, that is scary as can be. One of the hardest corners to do in anywhere. It's kind of blind, quite honestly. You see that onboard shot, it doesn't look like it's blind, but as you turn into that, it's total commitment because you can't see around the corner. It's lined in concrete on inside and outside. A mistake is a big one.
Yeah, not a lot of runoff, and you get the pinball effect in there if it goes wrong, because you're just going side to side.
You can tell on the driver's right wall, all those marks there, that it's a pretty normal impact area. If you get it wrong here and you spin, you are going to be a ping pong ball. You're going to crash into everything.
And it usually starts through the kink. You get that, you slide, then you spear to the inside. It's that kind of approach. And we've seen some guys make some miraculous saves back there. And
that's survival.
Yeah, that's purely survival. All right, here we go. Lights out in the pace car. That black Porsche weaving right behind that beautiful vet is your pole sitter in STO. Again, a split start. So there's the STO field, and still working up into turn 14, or into 12 at this point. Canada Corner is your T1 field. So watch what happens here. Field starting to bunch up. Pace car is going to move into pit lane, and from this point on, it's up to Scott Tucker to pace the field, and everybody to stay with him at this point as we bring them up the front straight. Tucker and Pintark, Oaks and Pauly, your top two rows. So watch for the launch here. That long climb up, heading toward the start-finish line. And the green is out. And boy, even with that turbo versus that big grunt of that Viper, he had that thing up on the pipe, and that thing was spooled and launched.
Yeah, he had it spooled up big time. And like I said, the performance on these cars is not going to be as close as what we see with the T1s. I expect that the Porsche, if it doesn't break, should just run away.
Truly, yep, it absolutely should. Pintark sits in second spot, and Ox in that white Corvette third. Here's the start in T1, the second category that we're launching, and a big move right there. Buttermore looked like he had, did he hang on to it? He did. It looked like it was Aquilani who was going to move, and then it's, I don't know if he missed a gear or whatever, and suddenly that Mustang came up. That is Aquilani in the Mustang there. No, not quite able to get around, but Mike Pettiford makes the move from third to second in T1.
A lot of experience behind the wheel in this class. These guys race with each other a lot. They had a big crash at the start of last year's race, didn't get it going very well. This year, a lot better.
Yeah, Pettiford won his division again, and he has got I think he's got the all-time record for divisional wins, and Aquilani not waiting for long, down to the inside of Pettiford and trying to follow him through the 33. Joe Aquilani, Dorsey qualified 6th, already up to 4th.
Saw that Mustang dancing around on the brakes down there, no doubt about that. Downhill run, like I said before, loads the nose of the car, it raises the back end up and really gets you swirly. Aquilani wants the lead.
Yeah, and his dad is putting on some pressure too. Aquilani, a big moment.
Good save.
Oh, that's turn 7, and that's virtually a flat-out sweeper. That's off camber. Everything wrong about it, and you have to hustle through it.
Yeah, you usually don't get that one back when you got to cross up on an off-camber corner like that. That was a lot of fast hands behind the wheel there.
Oh, it was a great save. Now through this carousel, and you can see some of the T1 cars starting to run up on the back of some of the STO machinery, and a nice job there. Those guys just sort of letting some of these guys go as they slot through, because these guys are in a hurry. The 39 there, Richard Jones, letting him go. Nice move as well, because the front end of this T1 group is plenty quick. Here's a nice speed shot for you. And here we go, down into Canada Corner, and look at that, Aquilani, the red Corvette, trying to get around the black Corvette of Pettiford on the outside into Canada Corner. That one's tough to pull off.
Gave that one up, and that was wise. They just went side by side as long as they could, and then knowing it wasn't going to happen, just let it happen. You know, you don't lose momentum that way. You don't have to go all the way through the corner side by side and block both cars. Look at these cars starting to slide around already. This could be the cold tires that Cold Racetrack Biz was talking about earlier. A lot of slipping and sliding in these early laps.
Here's a stat for you. Tucker on pole in STO at a 2-minute 15.4. His first lap at 2:17.6.
Cold tires, cold track too.
And hustling it. But I'll tell you, cold air, turbo,
yeah, twin turbo with cold air, yeah, it's happy.
As you say, Darcy, it's handling real well on the straights. So right here, now there is Dave Pintarik, second in the STO category and in overall right now, but his first lap was a 2:22. So in that opening lap, this is what we expected. That car of Tucker's is so far above everything else in the
well, it's
field.
the first one. I mean, we haven't seen that. No one's seen that car before.
Yep.
And I know what the potential of it is. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's
huge.
You've driven something close.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that white Corvette is Jerry Onks, holding down third. Mark Pauly is fourth, and Pratt Cole is fifth. That is in STO, but already moving up. Sixth overall right now is Buttermore. That's your tops in T1, then Aquilani, and then Pettiford in that mix as well.
Pintarik coming off the corner where he had the big crash.
Yeah.
You know, he says he doesn't think about it much anymore. I believe that. You know, once you get behind the wheel and you put your helmet on, all those other kind of thoughts go away. But I guarantee he thought about it on the grid before he took off.
You bet. Well, I like, you know, the comment about I shook my fist at it.
Yeah, I
you
like
just kind of
that,
put that behind you now, and you go through it a couple of times and you realize, all right, it is what it is. Down into Canada Corner, a great passing zone when you're running traffic down there. And interestingly, for many cars, that's the fastest part of the track, even with some of the turns. That's Kyle Kelly.
Off road here on turn 8, between 8 and 9. Going down to the carousel, got it wrong. That's a good overtaking place too, like you were telling. The brake zone into 8, another downhill run. Pretty simple to get in there over your head.
Now, what can you do as we're watching Tucker come by and look at that lead that he's got? What can you do with these cars if you start to overheat brakes? Anything you can do to bring them back?
You know, the best thing, all you got to do is just back off the brake pedal, get down to the corner, coast into the corner, you know, a lot lighter brake application, and let those brakes cool down, and usually will come back to you. But you have to have the sensitivity to feel the pedal is that the brakes are getting hot. It usually gets really, really hard, and the stop doesn't happen anymore. You're pushing as hard as you were before, but the car's not stopping anymore, and that's their indication things are going amiss.
Okay. That is now out of the infamous Sargento Bridge down through, I think that's Hurry Downs down into turn 5. Very tight turn, and again, that downhill braking zone is key. Now, moving back a little bit through turn 1, heading down the hill. That is the Aquilani-Pettiford battle, currently for second and third in T1.
And you see that movement around of those cars as they come off the corners. When they brake on the entry of the corner, you'll see them starting to dance around. That's because it's pretty much a street-derived car. You know, these are really pretty heavy cars, and they're braking quite hard. And all these downhill runs, which you'll see right here when these two get down in the brake zone, watch the back of the car hike up a little bit right there, and it just swirled around. Good battle.
Great battle. Two very, very good pilots. By the way, we were talking about the qualification to get to the runoff. Well, there's another very special award called Super Sweep. And it's basically, you have to win your division, win your national points battle as well. You also, they have what they call the BF Goodrich Super Tour, 9 races, a key race in each of the divisions. You have to win one of those and the runoffs. And there's nobody eligible for that in T1. But in STO, if something should happen to Scott Tucker and he bobbles and doesn't finish, look at Aquilani rotate that bad boy entering in there. David Pintarik is eligible for a super sweep, but he's got to somehow get in front of Tucker, and that's going to be a tough one today. But boy, was that pretty watching Aquilani just pitch. That was like Trans Am back in
that's what I was talking about.
Early 90s.
Why you like the carousel, because the car's going to go through all these different handling characteristics. You're going to get in at the top, it might understeer, not want to turn. Then you're going to rotate the car like you saw the back end step out, pick it up with some power, drive it off a little bit loose. You see him here in the Canada now swirling around a little bit. Guy's really driving hard. You don't have to worry about overheating the tires so much today, not 50 degrees anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Just get your head down and go, but those brakes going to be tough. But boy, that Mustang, he does like to get that thing rotated, doesn't he?
Yeah, just could be a handling characteristic he likes to drive like.
Yep.
You know, you see him right there sliding it through the corner, kind of just a little bit of oversteer, not too much. In a hot day, you might not be wanting to drive it that way.
Exactly.
You want to maybe keep the back under you a little bit more and keep the temperatures down, but I don't think he's got a problem in a half-hour race or 45-minute race.
Well, of course, the Aqualanis with their Phoenix Motorsports have been around and in club racing for a very long time. Andrew is also doing some driving in the Grand Am Rolex Series. There he's driving a turbo, but he's having some fun with some big V8 grunt here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been driving a bunch of different configurations, all-wheel drive and so forth.
It's a battle for 11th right now. Ole Thordarson in that yellow Corvette, and Tim Hund, number 22, in that Silver Viper. Hund, by the way, on the Monday test day, Dorsey, blew a motor in that thing huge. It looked Formula One style, plumes of smoke and everything, in just exiting Canada corner. So they've done a great job to get that car back and underway and competitive. This is the battle for 9th. And I saw the 11 on Thordarson's car, and of course went with that. But it's the battle for 9th. And this is overall at this stage, to be sure. And look at this here. That is Andrew Aquilani now trying to find a way up and around. That's the 97 of Tom Slow. That Joe Aquilani in that number 33 got the jump, got around Slow, but Slow has come back hard at him.
Past national champion Tom Slow, no stranger to winning, no doubt about it, or Aquilani for that matter.
Yeah, the order right now, Buttermore leads in T1, Aquilani
Whoa,
second.
gets up on the curb.
Well, he held on to that one, but that was a ride.
Yeah, he bounced up off the curb, lost grip mid-corner when it landed. You got to kind of watch that.
And I said that was the battle for 9th. It is the overall 9th. This is actually Thordarson and Hund, the 11 and 22, battling for 4th in T1 at this point.
Got to watch that drop in wheels because it's starting to unsettle the car. He's done it twice this lap already. See a slower Mustang getting out of the way, trying to get out of the way. This straightaway coming down into Canada corner isn't straight. it's a continual bend, as you can see right here, coming off a corner. So it makes it a little bit difficult trying to get a straight run in here for the brake zone.
Tucker continues to lay comfortably in STO. Pintarek second. Who's somebody else dropping?
It's the same one again.
Oh, Thordarson?
Yeah, it's been 3 times this lap. He's, like I say, you're going to have to stop dropping those rear wheels off, or it's going to catch him off one of these times.
On the throttle up the hill. 14, huge corner in terms of momentum. There's so many of them here because of those straights that you've got to get out of any corner leading into one of those straights really strong. And 14 is one that'll bite you.
Actually, it was Tom Slow who's been dropping.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah.
The number 97.
97,
gotcha.
Yeah. Here he goes, pops to the inside on a brake maneuver. He'll get that position if he gets stopped. And he does.
So that's 4 position. That gives Slow the 5th spot in T1 right now. Yeah, he didn't have a great start. I don't know what happened, but he was 4th and dropped back big
dropped
time.
Way back. Now he's trying to fight his way, claw his way back to the front. Really looks like that car is not very stable in the brake zone. You watch him when he gets down here in the turn 5 and watch the car start to swirl around on him. That could also be why the back's starting to, he's having trouble keeping that back from, see it right there, just gets
twitchy.
a little twitchy.
Well, I was going to ask you, with these cars obviously being, very production based with just slight safety modifications, what can you do to them in terms of affecting setup?
Well, you can do a bunch of different things. That looks like it might have too much rear brake in it, take too much rear brake pressure on there, and it makes it get directional. But then again, you watch him and he's using a lot of curbs too. It's really it's a tuning, it's a chassis tuning exercise with these street-derived cars to get them nice. Shock package makes a big difference there as well, trying to get the car to be balanced front to rear. This car looks like just the back end's just a little too nervous. See, and there he goes again, dropping wheels on the inside.
Ooh, that's sketchy.
And you don't want to be doing that.
Not there, that's for sure. So as we sit here early on in this one, it is Buttermore leading in Touring 1 with Aquilani and Michael Pettiford looking at their next 2 spots on the podium. And in STO, it's Scott Tucker with a big lead over Dave Pintarek and Jerry Ongks. And here is a good battle as Slow trying to come up on Tim Hund. We've got a lot more coming at you from this 49th annual SCCA National Championship Runoffs.
This portion of the SCCA Runoffs is being brought to you by Volkswagen, Das Auto, by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, and by Black Magic Car Care Products.
The Mazda 3, a top safety pick with uncompromised performance. And now, it's even more fuel efficient with available SkyActiv technology. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Now, get the Mazda 3 with 0.9% APR for a limited term.
Need help?
Yeah. Well, my ride's been losing power and gas mileage, and I've been thinking about grabbing...
That's thinking with your motorhead. Gum-out products are backed by science, real science, so they help improve performance, increase fuel efficiency, and protect key engine parts. It's not clean until it's Gum-out clean. Bring it in. Think with your motorhead. Choose Gum-out, available at these fine retailers.
And welcome back to our coverage here on SpeedcastTV.com of the 49th Annual SCCA Runoffs, presented in HD by Volkswagen. Great to have them on board and helping us out to bring you this exceptionally high-quality broadcast. And what a beautiful day to be out racing. And Scott Tucker continues to lead overall. There he is in that very futuristic-looking black Porsche. That is the lap times and the trap speeds we're seeing out of that car, Darcy, are just phenomenal.
Well, that's exactly what we expected. I mean, that's the newest car. It's in the fleet. It's got the highest potential, we should say. You know, definitely it's the highest tech car in the field, twin turbo. And he is running away with this race, which is exactly what that car should do.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, we've been seeing trap speeds here that he's been running, pushing 10 miles an hour faster than anybody else in the class. So I mean, this is not a surprise, and it's just a trick piece of equipment.
Well, it is, and you know, like I said at the beginning of the show too, when you see the old, you know, when you unlimit a class and you allow technology to just run rampant, well, you're always going to have, you know, the car that's just superior until somebody comes up with another one.
Exactly. Now we're taking a look, watching this battle as it continues in T1. And Tom Slow, the black number 97, the Corvette, has gone around the silver 22 Viper of Tim Hund and made that pass. But it took him a while. These two guys are having a really stout battle. This is for fourth.
Yeah, they're having a great battle. And like I said, I don't think Tom's car is really stuck to the track as much as he would like it to be.
Look at it dancing there.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I mean. In the brake zone, it's really, really twitchy. And it starts his corner entry out by being loose, you know, which he's got to kind of chase the car all the way through.
Well, it looks like he turned in, the back end came around. He had to really work to save it. But he really looks to be struggling in the brake zones with
definitely.
that car. And that's where you see him already protecting, because that Viper of Hunt just looks more stable.
You know, when you get on the brakes and you get the corner entry and you're all loose, you can't do anything with the throttle, you know, because if you get on the throttle, you're going to be loose coming off the corner too. You're not going to get a launch. Watch the Viper now. Got a good run going. He's defensive the inside. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a block. He says, if you got more on me, you're going the long way.
Now let's watch and see if Slow can get him back in the brake zone. He's certainly taking it in deep. Now, is this an over-under opportunity here for Hund? Oh, Tom, nice job.
For Hund, you know, if he had a choice, and if he saw this long enough, the fact that Slow's car is really twitchy under braking, a great thing to do is to run him down and deep into turn 5 down here, and just don't even intend on making the corner. Just drive him in there, sucker him in there, and let him go flying off. And then just turn behind him. I mean, that's one of the things you can do if you got a guy in front of you with brake, you know, that's making the car that loose. Watch him down here. When he gets on the brake, the back of the Corvette will start stepping around. He'll be defensive, go to the inside.
Yep, there it is.
Ooh, right there, I mean,
skips again, yeah.
If he could get himself close enough and wait for that car to wiggle and just drive to the inside, there'd be nothing Tom could do about it.
Oh, Hunt going to try him up in his 6. He's got the inside. Now it's a matter of no. Slow just shutting the door on him, and that was interesting. But he got him off, and it's going to go around on him.
Yep. That was the mistake made. He carried so much speed in the corner to defend against the Viper's onslaught up the inside that he couldn't make the corner himself, went up on the outside and had a spin.
So Hund, a corner after what you were thinking, but did exactly what you were talking about.
You had to get him where he was weak. And I mean, you could tell the back end of that Corvette was wanting to spin out the whole race.
Oh, the number 40 of Pintark in pit lane.
That's a shame.
Does it look like the right front of that car is kind of
second place
down there a little bit?
Yeah, nobody in a big rush about it.
Yeah, and the crew looking. Not exactly sure what the issue is. I thought at first maybe there was something wrong with that right front corner. But it looks perhaps a little bit more severe than that at this point. There is the number 81. That's one of your STO machines. Pretty trick piece too, Mark Polly. That is a BMW that has had a lot of work
we
to it.
got the 96 off now too, the Corvette.
That's unfortunate. That's one of our, that's Jerry Ox, who'd been having a strong run, sitting in the top 3 in STO.
Little smoke out of the right rear. I don't know if he's got a tire down or what, but there's pretty good smoke coming out that back corner.
One of the corner workers making his way to him, Jason with a fire bottle, and here's Pintark. So the issue, this looks serious, obviously. Whenever the hood goes up in a sprint race like this, you're in trouble.
Well, anytime you come into pits in one of these races at the runoffs, you're in trouble anyway. But when the hood comes up, it's even worse yet.
Well, that's going to pretty much take care of Pintark's hopes of becoming a Super Sweep winner. Meanwhile, in T1, here is John Buttermore, your defending champion, and looking very, very strong at this stage.
He was our pole sitter, and he is running away with that class now too. Defending champion, like you said, 3 wins in the year so far, so he's had a undaunted season. And that car looks very nice. Look how nice and steady.
Yeah. He's got, Buttermore's got 13 seconds in hand over Aquilani. Part of that because of that battle.
Look at the comparison in the brake zone from what we were seeing with Tom Slow's car. This one on rails.
Yeah.
Back end not stepping around at all. I mean, you could just watch that whole chain of events happen. I mean, that car was wanting to go around so bad. This one is stuck.
So as I said, with Aquilani battling with Petterford, Buttermore has opened up that margin. It's still Aquilani second with Petterford third. Hund now fourth and Ollie Thordarson in fifth. And Slow has dropped back to seventh in his category, T1 after that spin. Looking at STO, well, I'll tell you, now, we haven't seen the rest of the field come through, but Tucker with Pintark in pit lane has a huge lead. And Jerry Onks, as he pulled off as well. So Mark Pauly, should come up into second, and he's 30 seconds back.
Oh, trouble here.
Oh, no.
This
Who
is
was
a
that?
smoking car.
That's the
Petterford.
41 of Petterford.
This could just be a flat tire, hopefully.
Yeah, third in T1. And we're getting reports that it might be a left rear, and that looks the way it's cantered down over there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's where he's got smoke emanating off that back end. I was thinking that.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to be a left rear. It's down. Yep.
Yeah, boy, right on the rim.
And he's got a long way to go. That's the bad news about Road America. If you're on this end of it and you get a flat, at 4.5 miles back home, it'd be a long way going. What he's doing now is trying to go as quick as he can without blowing that carcass off, which would do damage to the back of the car beyond what they could repair. It's not going to make any difference anyway because it's such a long way back.
Yeah. And this is a classic example why, folks, even if you're outside of what looks like any shot at a medal, you don't give up, because Tim Hund hounding Slow and getting Slow into that mistake with Petterford when they cycle around. Hund is going to be in a medal position.
That's a pretty cool visual. We're watching the car on the track, and another Corvette just went across the Sargento Bridge. I think we should race up there. It's kind of neat looking.
Do the loop-de-loop.
Yeah, go up over the top and back. Get over there by turn 8.
And here's the number 88, Pratt Cole, who's a multiple national champion in the pits, and that Western Metals Mustang has done a lot of racing and in the prod classes. We'll be seeing those coming up. But yeah, that's not good. Ooh, a big loose moment there for Joe Aquilani as he's chasing Ole Thordarson, and the back end of that red vet on braking down into 3 got a bit.
Kind of the problem with the STO division is they're works of progress. You see that Porsche, which is a completely polished factory race car, but these other cars with the modifications you talked about lend to have things break, and you see that. Whereas these cars, the Touring 1 cars, are going to be really competitive all the time. You're going to have to fight for every square inch of racetrack you can get.
And it's just a bit more reliable just because of the prep load.
Absolutely. That's one of the nice things about a showroom stock class, is that you spend more time racing and less time working.
Yeah, exactly. This is the battle for 4th, by the way.
Except for
behind
the crash
Hund.
damage.
Yeah, there's Hund, the Silver Viper. That's the bronze medal. That's your last podium spot. So Thordarson here in the number 11, and Aquilani next up in his number 33 Phoenix Performance. Thordarson, by the way, the Alvaca Networks Corvette. Ooh, ran a little wide there.
Yeah, he's got understeer at the top, like I talked about. That's kind of normal. And then normally in the middle of the corner, you can rotate it and get the understeer to go away and drive off this corner. But that was, you're right, it pushed him out into the gray area. It was starting to look like, you get out there too far, it's no man's land. You're not going to get back.
This is lap 10. We are working right now.
That was actually Kyle Kelly, I believe, that was right behind them in another pretty loose-looking Corvette.
Yeah. Well, this stage of the race, we talked about it's cool out there, and depending on, here comes Pettiford finally getting down in a pit lane in that Purifoy dealership's Corvette.
It doesn't look like he's damaged the right rear, which is good. No need to spend more money now, whether he goes behind the wall or decides to throw a tire on and go get what he can get. Points are over for the year.
Yeah, exactly. It's done. You see the Go Ford in the doors. He's the owner and chief instructor of the Go Ford Racing Schools out in Colorado. There is Hund, third place, last of the podium spots, the bronze medal in T1. And here's your battle for fourth, Thordarson and Aquilani.
And they might be, in fact, catching Lund. I believe they are.
Yeah, they've trimmed it down now.
In front,
yeah. They've gathered up about 2 seconds on him in the last couple laps, so they're closing in.
It's a good battle. That one of those things that happens. You know, you get battling with the guy, and he's trying to keep it from passing. You're trying to get past him, and you're pushing each other, you know, onto better lap times. There's your split right there. It's not that much.
No, it's not. They're doing a nice job. By the way, just checked in on STO, and it's Scott Tucker, Paulie, and the BMW, that black BMW.
Here we go.
Oh, look at this. Here it is.
Can he get it stopped, though? Yes. That'll work.
Thordarson trying to cut underneath. No. Whoa.
That's not
maybe. Boy, did he get a run.
He got a huge run. But now can he stop up here? Is he going to make the same mistake we saw before? Nope.
He ran it wide. Now, let's see. No, Aquilani thought about it.
Good scrap. Good race, those two guys.
That was smart by Aquilani to not get caught on the outside in 7.
No, that's bad. Yeah, outside 7 with off camber is not the right way to go.
What I was going to say in the STO division, as I said, Paulie in that black number 81 BMW sits second, but Lance Stewart from 9th on the grid, Dorsey, in that Ford Mustang, didn't get a viable time in qualifying. They've had issues, is up into 3rd.
That's a great run by Lance, no doubt about it. You know, coming from the back, if you will, not by choice. This is a good matchup. These two cars are pretty equal. I really thought that Aquilani was going to be able to hold that, but obviously he overslowed the bottom of turn 5, and that run that he saw Paulie get off there.
That's one of the things when you're down to the inside, making that pass. Obviously, you know you can't carry your normal head of steam through 5, but it's real easy to misjudge that and slow down too much, isn't it?
Yeah, you're pinching the thing down anyway. Oh, that could have been big.
Boy, that is that access road up there has saved so many cars over the years. It is, isn't it?
You can't see it when you turn in. You just rely on it being there. If they ever took it away, there'd be the biggest wreck here. Because everybody jumps onto that road.
That's one of the things when they built the tunnel here and got rid of the Billy Mitchell bridge that used to, you'd turn underneath right there. I love the fact that they still left that a little blind.
That's
cool.
What makes,
oh, here we go again, Aquilani. Boy, he was way tight.
But
here we go.
Yep. He did the same mistake again.
Yep, and then floated wide, and there goes Thordarson right back and underneath. This is great stuff.
He got himself in so deep that he had to get the car under control, and under doing that, lost all his momentum.
Yeah, this is the and keep in mind, folks, this isn't even for a medal, but they know it's possible. Should something happen to Hund right here and in front, this becomes the battle for the final medal.
Now they've actually lost ground to Hund because of all of the skirmishing we've just been seeing. They're actually slowing each other up now as they're making these pass attempts.
We've got a specialty award that'll be given out at the end of each race, the GoPro Hero Move of the Race Award. And these two guys are candidates. I'd say Hund would be as well with the way that he hustled and forced slow into a mistake. That was a pretty nice move as well in that silver number 22. So some good candidates out there. Boy, Hund now is just watching the lap times. Hund has just stabilized it at this stage.
They've actually lost ground to him because of the rivalry between the two cars.
Right. And by the way, we are on the in terms of overall and STO. I believe we are working our final lap.
I love that corner, man. You can see those chassis working, all the cars getting loose at the exit a little bit.
Yeah, it's a corner that tells you lots just visually watching it.
Well, you can't sustain full throttle through it. You can't sustain any kind of brakes, so you got to work the car. You know, you can come in at the top wide open if you want to, but then you got to slow up the middle. You want to be good off the corner because it's bringing you down the straightaway, just like this car, which is about to win overall.
Overall in an STO, last time into turn number 8. under the Johnsonville Speedville Bridge and into that carousel. And he can just coast it right now. Big lead he's got.
Yeah, there's no other car like it yet. That's the first that we've seen of that.
Tucker very, very strong at this point.
Yeah,
And it's nice you build up that big lead early, and then you can just sort of drive the margin and drive within yourself.
Well, that's a lonely way to go, though.
It is. It is.
You know, I'd rather have somebody to race against myself.
But when you got something that handles that good on the straight.
Yeah, there's, when you
helps
see
a
that
lot.
car lineup, there was no doubt what was going to happen. This is a completely different league. But that's what that class is for. I mean,
Development
class.
exploration and the like.
And Porsche, you know, they sell a fully developed race car. And how much do you want to spend and how fast do you want to go?
Exactly.
You know, because they can accommodate you, let me guarantee you.
So through 14, last time onto the long climbing straight here at Road America. And our first national championships of 2012 are going to be decided. And it is going to be the number 55 of Scott Tucker in STO coming across and taking that championship, defending his championship.
In theory, John Buttermore should be our man or pole sitter. But I'm not going to say that because you know what happens.
Well, exactly. It's always sketchy. So what we're watching for now, of course, we've got the T1 battle unfolding as well. Buttermore had a pretty good lead over Aquilani, who had a similarly decent lead over Tim Hund. But then Hund, Thordarson, and Joe Aquilani having some very stout racing that we've been following. There comes 81. That's Pauly just crossing here in front of us at the announce booth. But we are watching this guy on his way toward a T1 national championship and defending the one he won last year, John Buttermore, up the hill in his Hoosier Carbotech StopTech Chevrolet Corvette. And he will claim the second national championship of this 49th running of the Sports Car Club of America's National Championship Runoffs. And really a strong drive from pole, never made a mistake.
Good solid drive, and that car looked like on rails. I mean, it never stepped out one time. A lot of that has to do with the guy behind the wheel.
As we said, Pauly second in STO. Andrew Aquilani now comes across and picks up second in the T1. That will be a silver medal. And we'll be watching here to make sure that it is Tim Hunt that comes through as we're enjoying the cool down lap that I'm sure John Buttermore is enjoying immensely.
Oh yeah, that's the kind of race you want. That was textbook, driven perfectly.
There you see the Silver Viper of Tim Hund come by and pick up third, and a bronze medal here at the National Championships. And in STO, it is Lance Stewart from 9th to 3rd.
That's
coming through. That's superb.
That is a fantastic run for Lance, no doubt about it. Had trouble with the car, like you said. His qualifying put him at the very back, and he soldiers his way without any drama, I should say, up to 3rd place. You
always like to have that unfold. So the checker flies for all of the competitors here at Road America. And as I said, we are doing 5 races today. We'll do 2 more. Then there's the lunch break here at the track. Then we'll do 2 more. And then it reverts to qualifying for later in the weekend. That's the change of this new rolling schedule. Same format on Friday. We'll have 5 races. I think tomorrow it's 2 before lunch, 3 after. Then on Saturday it's 6 races. And then Sunday, 8.
Yeah,
like the old format. That's all racing.
And we'll split up at that point in time, and I'll go over with Jim Trato, my buddy for the last couple of years. Jim is due in today, and we'll split. And you'll be with my other good friend, Randy Pope.
Yeah, Randy Pope's making his debut as an analyst here for the Runoffs. Of course, fair amount of success he's had at the Runoffs, and you know, some other stuff since.
A few other things.
He's been okay. So
He's
let's take a look.
Lately.
Yeah. Ow.
Sorry.
That was harsh. Funny. All right, let's take a look at the results. In STO, Scott Tucker, and you can see with the problems behind him, he ended up, well, Pintarek actually retired. So so it's Pauly will end up 2nd, and Lance Stewart will be 3rd in the order in STO. And in T1, it is Buttermore getting the win over Aquilani. Pettiford, of course, had that pit stop and drop back, so Tim Hund will end up with 3rd place. And then Thordarson and Aquilani, that great battle going Thordarson's way for 4th.
That battle for 3rd was a tough one all the way through. Those 3 cars actually all had a shot at it there. There you see the overall winner, Scott Tucker and his Porsche getting ready to climb out.
Yep, they get his presentation of that checkered flag he'll get. Of course, there is also a victory circle presentation, and I see off to the left there our man Biz is going to be wandering in shortly and having a word with our first national champion of 2012.
And he knows better to stand in front of the cars.
That's
See
right.
that too. Been there before.
Wow, it's taking a while to disconnect.
Looks like he's coming out. Let's see, he's got the steering wheel off.
You can hear the wind down there, can't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of wind,
It is
too.
really breezy here today, folks, adding to the chill in the air.
That is a trick Porsche right there, let me tell you.
And there's Buttermore in that beautiful Hoosier Carbotech Corvette, T1 national champ.
Not a mark on either of those cars the way you like it. Bring them back like you took them out.
All right, it looks like Biz is ready.
Well, Scott Tucker, you're talking to your crew there, and I'll tell you, you have to give them an awful lot of thumbs up for your success here. But tell us about that drive. What have you done to this car to be so completely ahead of the rest of the grid?
This is, really a project from our whole team, everything that they did in the off-season to, develop it. Last year was our first year, so really I have to take my hat off to the team. They gave me a pretty easy car to drive. We don't have quite the tires that we need on this car. Everything else is a little stronger on it, but overall, this really goes to my entire team and all the things that they did kind of underneath the hood, and besides, all the research and development that they did, in this great class. So, my radio, of course, of all things that didn't work in the race, I could barely hear my crew on the radio, so I didn't really know what the pace or anything was. So I just tried to drive my own race and, looked at my mirrors. But overall, this really goes to my team.
And what's the deal with having James Penrose? Here comes the hat from Bonnie, and let's get the medal in there too, Bonnie. The congratulations on the gold medal, but I've got to ask you, James Penrose, who of course I used to know very well from the Lotus Formula One days, he's wearing your team colors.
Yeah, James has worked with me last year and this year. He's our safety expert on the team, and he is involved in all the things. He's good friends with, unfortunately, Sid Watkins, who just passed away, but he brings a great depth of information and technology in all of racing, and we're really glad to have him on the team.
Well, terrific effort. You have managed this team extremely well. Congratulations on a gold medal.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to be heading back to our silver medal boys. A beautiful BMW. Now, for this BMW to keep up with the likes of this Porsche is an awful lot of driving going on back there. Congratulations on a great silver medal. Tell us about keeping it together long enough in this 81, this beautiful car, to gain a podium spot.
I got to thank Fall Line. They put together an awesome car. The coaching, the car, the stuff that they do, it's I couldn't do it without them. Thank my family for allowing me the time to do this.
All season long to end up here in this spot. How many races did you go throughout the year, and is this the result? Of course, there's a lot of competition in this class.
It is. This is my first year as a national competitor, so to make it this far is it's simply amazing. So
congratulations on a great drive. We're going to squeak our way back here to the number third man, who is still in his car, somebody who certainly drove a great race to even be on the podium in this tough class. Lance, you're getting a bottle of water, and here goes the medal, the bronze medal, beautifully prepared for you, and of course your hat. Let's get the great hat. Well, I'll tell you, buddy, with all this hard work you put in all year long, Lance, it's not too bad to be surprised like this.
Yeah, it's really actually kind of nice. I really feel good for Dave and Dead Horde Racing and Steve Lakey, our mechanic. Our Goodriches were fantastic, and the car just drove around, and I guess people were kind of dropping out here and there, so we got a great finish.
Well, when you saw people parked on the side, you must have been going, this just might work out.
Yeah, I was like, I think I'm getting a few gifts here, but I'll take them. I deserve it.
Congratulations on a great bronze medal. Okay, back up to the front of the grid. We're going to try and find our drivers that are hopefully still in the car waiting for us. You can hear the power of that Porsche. My gosh, some 700 horsepower just drowning out everything. So John Buttermore, my gosh, John, I'll tell you, look at all of these great stickers throughout the seasons of event wins. John, congratulations on a gold medal. Where's Bonnie with the gold medal? Let's get that medal on you now. Look at that big smile. My gosh. So listen, at the beginning of the race, my gosh, you just drove so steady. The car looked fantastic. A lot of other people were slipping and sliding around. Tell me about your setup.
Yeah, our setup is to go a good long distance. We don't need to drive the car. It's not super stiff. It's very compliant, has good grip. It rewards a smooth drive more than a really push it hard. It makes it a little harder to qualify because that works well in qualifying, but in the race, it seems to work pretty well.
I'm sorry, but it's really hard for a race car driver not to push, okay? So patience is something that not these men have had an awful lot of experience with. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's, you got to get to somewhere where you're comfortable with the car, that it's doing the things that you want it to do. And we've done some work over the years, especially, we had came here a couple of years ago and had some brake failures that took us out of the lead. And now we've got Stop Tech brakes, Carbotech pads, Hoosier tire. They all help us out with our program, and the Chevy Corvette. It's still looking great, still a great American sports car.
Congratulations on a great gold medal. All right, guys, now it's been a little bit of time going on here, so we're going to make sure some people haven't gone away from us. Well, congratulations, Andrew, on a great second place. You got the silver medal on. My gosh, I mean, you just did very well at the beginning of the race, but he came by you there, and silver was all that was going to happen today.
Yeah, I mean, we knew coming into this when we started this project in the middle of August that it would be a challenge to win. But, Phoenix Performance, Penske shocks, Brembo brakes, I mean, we had the brakes to contend with Buttermore. I mean, with the Hawk pads and a Brembo calipers. I mean, the start I'm a little bit frustrated over, because in my mind that was a little bit of a wimp move to jump on it as soon as the pace car pulled off, and I just feel bad because I think I would have liked a fair fight into turn one. I knew it would have been tough to win, but oh well, congrats to him. He had the car, but this Ford Mustang Boss 302 pretty quick, and we'll see what goes on for next.
I think you're going to be back. Yeah, you just said it. You're going to be back next year. Tom, maybe the biggest fight of the morning so far. My gosh, you were bumper to bumper. What did you think when Tom went off?
Well, I was kind of thankful. I was trying to work on his brakes a lot because I knew I had better brakes than he did, and I was pushing them into the corners and making them go deeper.
Well, let me ask you about that, because that's exactly what Dorsey said, Tim, was that just let him go, just suck him down in there with the braking that you could see was not working on his car. Right. So tell me how it looked from your perspective.
It's the same way. I mean, I made him. I didn't get beside him going down into the braking zones. I pushed him to go deeper and deeper, and each time, that paid dividends back. Then at last he burned between the tires and the brakes. That was all over. So
congratulations on a hard-fought bronze medal.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, 6 people with medals down here, and it's warming up a little bit.
All right, that's why you're smiling so large, is the temps coming up. Yeah, hard to believe that guy is a skier, the way he complains about cold. But anyway.
It's better him out there than me.
So, yeah, that's true. There's another one. This is a little late in the season for you to be north of the Mason-Dixon line, as you point out. And, folks, we do have that GoPro Hero Move of the Race Award that we've been talking about. And for this one, after a vote amongst a few, it's going to go to Ole Thordarson, who had that absolutely stellar battle back and forth that he ended up winning, and really had to go inside, outside, around the whole thing on that one, and pulled it off to perfection. So Ole Thordarson is our first GoPro Hero Move of the Race Award winner.
Put on a good show, no doubt about it. Had to fight for every square inch. That's what I talked about earlier on. We're going to see that throughout the weekend as a common occurrence.
And also just want to mention quickly, last night here at Road America, they had the awards party for the BF Goodrich Tires Worker of the Year, and we're going to mention them as things unfold here. First one we're going to talk about was for scrutineering, and it went to Central Division's Dennis Trammell out of Milwaukee region as the Scrutineer Worker of the Year. Congratulations, and they all get a nice little prize from the folks at BF Goodrich. So we appreciate BF Goodrich's support. So very involved in the Sports Car Club of America. Yeah,
absolutely. And those guys, like you said earlier on, work quite hard to do their jobs and keep this great event and these events throughout the country going.
And you can see we've got some Celebrations unfolding, the victory lap of honor, if you will. John Buttermore enjoying this one here as he brings home the gold in T1 with Aquilani and Tim Hunt second and third. Once again in STO, it goes to Scott Tucker, Mark Pauly, and Lance Stewart. And there's the moment, a couple of the moments we were talking about. 97 Tom Slow, that was when Hund was talking about in his interview for third. But here's that battle, Thordarson hanging on after working his way around Aquilani. And there are your two medalists taking the checkers.
This portion of the SCCA Runoffs is being brought to you by Volkswagen, Das Auto, by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, and by Black Magic Car Care Products.
The Mazda 3, a top safety pick with uncompromised performance. And now it's even more fuel efficient with available SCCA technology. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Now get the Mazda 3 with 0.9% APR for a limited term.
Need help?
Yeah. Well, my ride's been losing power and gas mileage, and I've been thinking about grabbing...
That's thinking with your motorhead. Gum-out products are backed by science, real science, so they help improve performance, increase fuel efficiency, and protect key engine parts. It's not clean until it's gum-out clean. Bring it in. Think with your motorhead. Choose Gum-out, available at these fine retailers.